What is going on, everybody? BobbyFi here, flying solo until she gets here. He's supposed to be in any minute, so we're just going to go through this slate real quickly. It's a small one. A little frustrated about the early slate. I played Kirby, and I think I'd be right near first place without him. And then I had Julio Rodriguez in that lineup also. He got hurt in the first inning. Just very frustrating because I had a lot of the right plays. We had the Heasley at 8% ownership. We have the what's it called? I had Yastrzemski. Basically, everybody who's done things that were the games that I talked about earlier. It's just a little bit frustrating because the early build was certainly right there, and I still have all my Seattle bats left, and maybe you could still make a little bit of a run, but it's going to be hard because I didn't have Clinic. As I mentioned, J-Rod getting injured didn't help. I had the right parts of the San Francisco, which was just very little. And it felt like it could have been a day. I had Corey Seager in my main build, and Simeon, and all these guys were good. Just looks like I'm going to fall short thanks to Kirby just getting crushed. And so it's kind of frustrating. But that's what happens sometimes. It's baseball. We move on to the next slate. At least this one's not for six figures, so it's not going to keep me up or anything at night. But as far as tonight goes, I don't think that there's any – you're fine to stack. But as I keep saying with these little slates – I really don't think that you need to. The team I'm most interested in stacking, and it kind of works out naturally, is the Cubs. The other teams that I'm looking at, I think Milwaukee makes some sense, but I'm not going to do it. I think they'll have some decent ownership. It's more than I think that they're being projected for anyway. The Yankees and the Dodgers are the teams that I would be looking at. If you wanted to just go ham one stack, the Dodgers might be lower owned than they should be. As good as Gallen's been, even against the Dodgers this year, it's just, it's a little bit of an interesting spot. It's better hitting conditions in most places on the slate tonight. You're going to have a low-owned Dodgers stack, depending on how the lineup comes out, but it should be low-owned no matter what. And I think you're going to have really popular other pieces that you want to get away from. So I'm basically like playing like three mans and mostly like getting my stuff together. I forgot to mention Cleveland, by the way, who I like quite a bit as well. Jose Ramirez, Josh Naylor being my favorites. You can use Straw or Hedges as a value, and then you fit in one of the other guys, Rosario, Jimenez, Oscar Gonzalez. I'm fine with all of them, but Ramirez and Naylor stand out as being the best plays to me. My pitching, in my main lineup, I'm going to use Bieber and Woodruff. On my other lineups, I'm going to just spread out like crazy. I've got some Wisniewski, I've got some Fried, some Hunter Green, Berrios. But Bieber and Woodruff are pretty easy to get in, and they are clearly the best pitchers. Now, they're going to have ownership, so I don't mind if you want to take one of those other chances on any of these other guys who are going to be low owned. Mitch Keller's getting some love, which, again, I like Chicago. I'm not playing Verlander or Urias today. I do like Fried a little bit for what it's worth. I like Berrios a little bit. I like Hunter Green a little bit. And I like the Wisniewski long shot play. So that's what I'm doing today. Pretty straightforward. Favorite individual bats are going to be, Castro is the favorite cheap second baseman at 2,500. In fact, I actually want to make an adjustment and maybe put him in my main lineup. Castro, favorite second baseman. Favorite catcher for the cheap end, I'll take Higashioka or Yan Gomes. Yan Gomes is the obvious answer, batting cleanup today at 2,900. And then spending up, you're playing Will Smith. First base, Vlad Guerrero, Freddie Freeman, Josh Naylor are my favorites. Second base, I mentioned Castro. Torres would be my next favorite. Chapman's my favorite third base option. Followed by, Ramirez is my favorite third base, followed by Chapman. I'll be done in 1 second sheets. Favorite shortstops, Trey Turner, Wander Franco. Favorite outfielders, Judge, Stanton, Betts, Reyes, Tucker, and Alvarez that sort of rounds out what I'm doing. Sheets pretty frustrated. I think I was going to have a pretty good shot to win the 333 today, but getting roughed up for Gilbert didn't help me any, or not Gilbert helped me. Why can't I think of the name right now? That's how
Kirby.
Yeah, Kirby. Yeah, the other young guy. Because I had in my main build, I have the Yastrzemski home run, I have Seager, I have Simeon, I have all of Seattle, and unfortunately Julio Rodriguez gets hurt in the first two, so I'm ended up. I think you're right behind me right now.
Oh, is that what ended up happening to him?
Yeah, he got hurt in the first inning after doubling and scoring. So that's frustrating. It looked like it was going to be a win. I was in fifth place with literally like twice as much time around than anybody else. But then Kirby gets lit up and falls apart. So that's what happened. I wish I would have gone with your pitcher instead of mine. But I did think it was good. We got the Heasley call really accurate, and that was a good. Like, at least it's going to make it probably a 3x or a 4x morning slate for me. How about you?
I'm not sure. I have to check. I was doing okay. I think I'm going to cash in that 333. I just have what's his name left. I think just Musgrove.
Yeah. I think as of right now, you'd think so, unless San Diego goes off or Seattle goes way off. I think you should be okay.
Yeah, that was a good call for the Heasley. That definitely was get everything off to a good start. And then I got the Texas guys, and then I could have used Trout to have a little bit better game at 8% ownership. That would have been that would have been kind of appreciated.
He had a decent game though, right?
Yeah, but you know what? Like it comes up in the last inning, you get a lot, you get a little more juiced, when whatever it is. Let me just see how I am doing in that stuff. I was doing going to tennis, so I was focusing on that a little bit. Yeah, I'm in like 18th with just what's his name going though. I don't know. It's going to be. I mean, everybody's got a million innings behind me. I hope I hang on. We'll see what happens.
Yeah. Yeah, it'd be nice to get off to a good start for the day, and then finish it off with football and baseball here. I was just saying with what I'm doing with pitching, I am using Woodruff and Bieber together in my main build, but I'm not using them anywhere else, even including like the 200s, the one, whatever. I'm mixing in a lot of Barrios, Green, and Wisniewski. And I also have a little bit of Max Fried, which I just sort of ended up on. I didn't mean to get there. It was just like, okay, well, it just kind of works. He kind of fits for me. So that's what I ended up doing. How about you with your pitching?
Yeah, I'm playing Hunter Green.
I like it.
That's what I said. I was hoping that. I've been looking. I don't see him his huge chalk. It just seems like perfect JPP play to me. And that's my main stand, and I'm basically spreading out everywhere else. If he has a good game, I hopefully do well. As far as my other pitchers, Shane Bieber, Justin Verlander. Currently not. Why am I not playing Woodruff? No, I gotta put some Woodruff in too. I want to spread out those top guys and stick with Hunter Green, and I do want to play. I think I might end up with one Barrios just for fun, but yeah.
Makes sense to me. Some of the guys who like you have this Casas guy at for Boston at 2,100 as a value. There's a lot of value guys out there. McKinstry for the Cubs. I mentioned Castro already, who I like a lot, and Franmil Reyes is the obvious other chalk guy. I'm not really leaning towards any sort of a stack exactly. I have like a lot of 3-mans and really not fully stacking. I think this is the kind of slate where you can get away with that, unless the Dodgers or Yankees go nuts, and that's going to be the two teams that I'm most afraid of. I do think Cleveland would be the next team for me.
I like Cleveland. I like Pittsburgh.
Mm-hmm.
I like the Cubs. Obviously I like the Yankees. I like the Braves.
I would be very careful with the Braves personally
because of the weather.
It's just you have 14-mile-an-hour winds blowing right at you for righties. It's just so hard to hit home runs in that situation.
Right.
It can happen. You can go the other way, but the Braves have all righties out there except for Olsen and Harris, I guess too. But I just couldn't. I just can't pull those triggers. I'm still stuck in this. And by the way, I say I'm stuck in it, but in all fairness, and I think it actually has done me well. But it feels weird. Another guy who I'm using a lot of, by the way, I just want to throw out there because people don't play him because he's at the bottom of the lineup and he's not cheap. I think it's better to play guys like Christopher Morel over guys like McKinstry in general, just from a theory standpoint. I don't care that he's batting ninth. It's a weird. It's a 8-game slate, but it feels really small, doesn't it?
No, I actually don't know where I'm going. It feels a little too big for me. Actually, I don't know. I don't know what team I want to play as far as the hitting goes. Like first I want to get a little overweight on Cleveland, and then I say, well, I want the Yankees, and then I want the Dodgers, and then I want Houston. I mean, for me,
but that's the thing. Why are you trying to think about stacking though? That's what I want to understand, because
that's just how I roll. Can I tell you?
I know, but I think it's been basically proven that, especially on some of these smaller states, like why does it have to be a 5-man stack on it?
It does not have to be a 5-man stack.
Okay.
No. As a matter of fact, when I run my builds, I'm getting more of the other stuff than I usually do. Yep. But even means a 2 or 3-man stack. I mean, that's still something, right? I mean,
yeah, absolutely. But so I'm taking all those things that you're saying about those teams. I agree, but I'm just putting the pieces in that I want,
right.
and going for little 2-3-mans of a 3-2-2-1 or a 3-3-2 or a 3-3-1-1, things like that, and just getting my favorite bats. It just happens that I do happen to like the Cubs and Pittsburgh for value.
Cleveland, Pittsburgh, Chicago. I got to get some Dodgers in case, right?
I mean, I think the Dodgers are. Yeah, I think it's extremely viable. Like, and they're going to be low owned tonight, and we don't know what their lineup's going to be either. By the way, so we'll see how much we like them after we see what they put out there. But I would guess after losing 2 of 3 that they do that. It is a getaway day though. It's kind of a weird, like, what do they decide to roll with here? So I could see it going literally with a totally wonky lineup or completely straight down the middle. Usually if they have a couple bad games in a row, they almost always just bring out the best lineup they have, but it doesn't happen that often. So
right.
It's been a while since it's happened, actually. Welcome back, Joanne, from your honeymoon. Awesome.
There it is.
Congratulations. And congratulations to you and your husband. That's pretty cool. And let's get back in the swing of things. And we can jump into some football, because I don't think there's a whole lot of other stuff, at least that I have to offer for baseball. I think that the more I look at it, if you forced me and said, okay, I've got to make a 4-man stack of something, I would think I'd pick Cleveland. I think if you said to me I had to pick a 5-man stack, I'd pick the Yankees or Dodgers. But I think those are my 3 favorites. The Cubs are just the best values in that, and because I am doing the double spending up for pitching on DraftKings in my main lineup, I'm going to play a lot of Cubs.
What about Cleveland? You wouldn't make them a 5-man?
No, I think they're fine. I just like, if I think of 5-man, I think of the team going completely crazy, and I think that they could. I just think the Dodgers and Yankees are a little more likely to do that than Cleveland is. But I think but again, it's weird because I prefer Cleveland as a smaller version, just because I really love the lefties in that game. I really love Naylor. I really love Jimenez and Ramirez. Other than that, I don't feel like I'm really married to any of the other guys in their team. Whereas the Dodgers and Yankees are, there's 5 guys who I really want to. Actually, the Dodgers, there's 9 guys I actually want to play whenever I play them. So,
what's up, Miles?
Is it the dog?
Yeah, Molly, who do you like tonight? Yeah, exactly.
Quiet it down quickly.
Exactly. She's not taking any big stands.
Yeah, and I think that Houston ends up being a little more popular than maybe they're currently projected. I actually think people are going to play that.
You playing any FanDuel tonight?
Yeah, I got some FanDuel lineups. Lots of cheap stuff over there too. Like Stanton's 3,100, which is too cheap. Chapman is 2,900, which is too cheap. I like Castro. You've got Bodie, McKinstry. I'm using Morel in the 3-man Cub stack, just because I like him better. And yeah, I mean, I totally messed this up here. Let me see. Okay. But it's not like these are all awesome bats. That's why I'm playing. That's why I was like deciding with Morel. I'm like, well, Morel at least has he can actually hit. Like, why am I playing guys just because they're hitting a couple spots earlier in the lineup than a guy who can actually hit and doesn't have any pinch hit risk?
Hey, you know who had a good game today? I mean, good enough. At least better is he's still walking all these people. Flaherty got 7 strikeouts.
Yeah, I saw that after a rough start. He kind of
4 walks though. He still can't find the freaking plate.
think we may just have to accept that he may not be very good.
We might, like you said. I mean, like we're waiting for this thing that we don't even know. I mean, what are we waiting for? You know, like
yeah, there was he had a moment, but I mean,
it doesn't matter. This Seattle game is going to go in ballistic.
What's happening? Anything good?
It's going to be like a 12-9 with a couple of minutes. I think. I don't know. Let's see.
Really regretting not playing Ty France instead of Santana, but I needed the value. And Klenek, the guy I always play, and I didn't play.
Yeah,
that's a bummer. Jack Flaherty.
Oh, that's rough. I can't. Was that the first inning that he got injured? Rodriguez?
Yeah. He had a double and scored a run, and then his back started acting up.
Is this lineup good? Hold on. This. All right. Is this a sweat? No, not really. Okay. I have a 21. I have a Flaherty Heasley lineup.
Oh, that's nice.
Which has Dylan Moore's the only guy that hasn't done anything. I have him.
Yeah, I know.
I got Rodriguez. I got Rodriguez in that one's crap. Okay.
Yeah. That one's a bummer.
Yeah, that one's a bummer.
Yeah, not even the wrong parts of Seattle, just some of the other guys. Much bigger days. Anyway, all right. What are your thoughts? So I have a very clear take of what I'm doing for football. Should we get into that?
Sure.
Or do you want to talk more?
Yeah, no, I'd love to hear it. I mean, because my take is going to be probably very, 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 very chalky and obvious. Maybe, hopefully, yours is different. We'll see.
Well, okay. So I'm playing. I'm definitely playing both defenses in my lineup tonight, and I'm also going to captain the Pittsburgh defense, especially. And I do have one with the Cleveland captain. I think that there's like 5 plays that I really, really just wanted to have like in all my lineups, but I didn't end up with all of them. And they're the obvious. The other ones are pretty obvious. Both the defenses, Chubb, Harris, and Deontay Johnson are. I don't really care about either quarterback, which is kind of weird on a showdown slate. If I had to pick one, it'd be Trubisky, but I'm very okay with playing these other guys. And I really like I like playing Chubb with Hunt. I think that's fun. I think people will do that, but I don't think it maybe as much as they should. And I think Chubb is the most obvious captain, but I think that you could probably just make as good an argument almost for Kareem Hunt. And that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to play both those guys everywhere. I'm going to play both defenses everywhere, and I'm going to play Najee Harris and basically Najee Harris or what's his name, the receiver Deontay Johnson in all my lineups.
I currently have the Browns defense in the captain and the big one. Very, very similar idea to you. You know what I mean? Just a little, you Pittsburgh defense is fine too. It's a freaking windy game. The ball's going to be jumping around a little bit. The only reason I don't like the Pittsburgh defense as much is because I just imagine that Cleveland's just going to try to run it down their throat. And not put the ball in the air and not come from behind and all that.
What happens when they can't run it?
Then they'll just punt it and put it to their defense. You know what I mean? Like I just.
Okay. No, that's fair.
I mean, and this is usually against the way I usually like to think about it, because obviously it's like 36 total, 37 total, and this is what everybody's going to project is kind of just a defensive, just ugly game with probably Cleveland's defense controlling it or whatever, and 17-13, 20-13, something like that. And part of me just wants to just go the totally opposite and just play for the offenses, but it's just so much going against it that So I'm going to get defenses. I'm going to get the quarterbacks for no other reason. Specifically, actually, I'm going to get some Brissett also, just because both quarterbacks, just because there's just so few points.
Mm-hmm.
I think that are going to be scored in general. That even the 12 points that the quarterbacks might be able to get might be enough. Who
do you think's more likely to get 12 points? I guess is the question.
I don't know.
Is it? So I personally think the answer are Najee Harris, Deontay Johnson, and Chase Claypool. I
got a bunch of them too. I think the main point is that I don't have a lot of nonsense tonight. I got the kickers. I got Donovan Peoples Jones, Deontay Johnson, Claypool, Freiermuth. Then I got Freiermuth from the captain too. Just because there's so few plays. And I got some Cooper in the captain. I got I got Harrison Bryant in the captain a little bit. Just I don't know. I do think this is kind of the wimpy, not wimpy. I just think it's definitely the chalk way to play all this stuff like kickers and defenses today. But I just don't know how it doesn't get there. It's like kind of hard.
No, I hear you. And for what it's worth, my issue with playing the quarterbacks is that the two highest projected owned players are the quarterbacks in a game.
I know.
Quarterbacks.
I know.
But I actually think, and that's why I look at so if I look at the potential rushing upside, which they both have, Trubisky, I think, is more likely to have that realized than Brissett for me by a little bit. But even in these ugly weather games, Deontay Johnson tends to get targeted like crazy. Yep. Claypool can use his size. You could argue for him. And I'm not showing the defenses as being especially high owned, especially not the Pittsburgh defense.
Okay. Oh yeah. Well, definitely the Pittsburgh defense would be less than Cleveland because
like 19% is what.
Well, they're not the favorite. That's
Right. I actually, for what it's worth, I like Pittsburgh to cover tonight and possibly win. I think these teams both have elite defenses, and I think Pittsburgh's is just better.
And you've been saying that the Pittsburgh defense has been underrated for a while now.
Yeah, I think everybody talks about how bad Pittsburgh is, but they almost forget, no, their defense is not. Their defense is loaded. They're really, really strong defensively. And what have they given up 20 points yet? I don't know. I guess what's it called may have gotten there at the end, New England. But yeah, in terms of the captain to getting weird plays, like I'm showing, you're going to have sub 10% ownership on Kareem Hunt. That sounds pretty good to me for a captain. Chase Claypool, sub 10%. I like that. Freiermuth would be another one you could look to on this kind of a slate. Donovan Peoples Jones. Those would be the guys who I would probably target. Maybe you could throw Njoku into the mix if you're spreading out. The chalky one is going to be Najee Harris and then Nick Chubb. I think Brissett and Trubisky will be the next two highest owned.
Yeah, that's where I'm getting different. Is I'm going to be just for no other way to get there. I'm going to be under on Chubb. Can't imagine how he doesn't get there, but I'm just going to be under on him anyway.
Right.
That's what it's going to be. Like I said, I can't quite envision a world where he doesn't get there, but who knows? That's heavy analytics involved in that one.
Yeah, no, it makes sense.
Oh no, it makes no sense, but we're doing it anyway.
No, it makes sense to do it because you know what I mean. That's what I'm saying, though. Right. By the way, your guy Dylan Moore did a little something.
Hey, there you go. Did he get a walk or something?
He stole a base and walked.
Oh, that's something.
And scored a run.
Whoa, wait, hold on. I gotta check this out.
9 points. But the problem is that means other guys are hitting.
Dude, I know, dude. I want to share a lineup with you, Dan. I think this is worth sharing. I'm in 11th in the relay throw. I don't know, with 19 innings left, but it's got Rodriguez. Let me hold on. I may as well share it. Something that.
Okay, Rodriguez was the most popular of the Seattle bats.
We'll analyze. Let's see what this is. Let's see this lineup here. This is over here. Okay, so I'm in 11th, and I got some innings. Let's see what I got. Oh no, San Fran's about to run out of innings, but I still got France. I got Moore. I got Haniger still. So I got some swipes. Okay. I don't know.
Yeah, absolutely.
Those guys are low owned.
Yeah, I like that. I'd feel good about it. Nobody's played Dylan Moore, so
Flaherty, Heasley. Let's go. All right, something to root for.
It's like almost identical to my lineup, except for yours has Witt in it and mine doesn't. I have one other one like that, but it's way behind because it's got different Flaherty and Witt. I had a 2v2 switch difference. I like what Joanne said just here about Warren. So I'm just going to touch on this real quick because I'm in general a very big fan of using backup running backs on these kind of plays. I really like doing it. I think that there's all kinds of reasons why it makes sense in so many ways, not to mention just how often players get hurt on Monday Night Football. But how much can we possibly – the problem is, Harris is out there all of the time if the games are close. What kind of run can Jaylen Warren even get? And it's not like you're talking about a minimum cost guy. But I think, like, can he have 4 touches? Sure. I think that's possible. Hard to make that price pay off with 4 touches at 3,200, but I could see it. It's so hard for me not to go, oh, well, then I want to play the Browns defense or something like that. That's why I'm doing the double defense and use the what's it called? Use the leave money on the table and play both defenses with both running backs for KC. Jalen Warren, yeah, not so high on it myself.
Well, the one thing I will say about my competition here in this tournament, like you said, nobody in this whole panel has Dylan Moore. So if God forbid he gets up again and he hits, what is this? Could be his first home run in 10, 20 years?
No, he has enough power to do it.
Oh, no, BK Ryder in probably his 4,000th lineup has it. It's so hard.
It's so
hard to compete against that.
It's so hard. I like the Warren.
And he's gonna get four points out of Musgrove in a few minutes when he gets the win. Yeah. I'm really gonna lose to a Musgrove Perez lineup. Like Perez with 12 fantasy points at 9K, at 53% ownership, and Musgrove at 10-3. Mike at 18 fantasy points is going to beat a Halesley Flaherty lineup. I'm really annoyed.
Yeah, that's annoying. But it's a big one, so it's harder to be annoyed.
It's the lottery.
Yeah, the lottery is harder to be annoyed in that one because there's just every combination has to be perfect. It's too hard.
There's so much randomness. Yeah,
it is. It's really ridiculous.
How about the San Francisco bullpen just like going into Coors and taking it to them?
I was saying that one of the easiest bets all time. That just this series has been just a bet the under series. Like it was like never has looked good, and yet the total is always 11. Yeah. Anyway, well, hopefully you can get there somehow.
More Haniger, Kalanick.
I sort of want to revisit the Warren. I think
I'm actually officially unable to win.
You are?
Yeah.
Oh, that's too bad.
Because I got 3, and he's got the same 3 and 2 others, and ahead of me by 11 points.
That's going to make it tough.
It's very difficult.
In second place always feels pretty good to me.
That's right. Unless somehow, no, it's not going to work. Unless they leave Musgrove in. Oh, no, he's out already. Shoot. I was going to say leave him in, and then he gives up 5 home runs. It's possible.
I have a very good chance of ending with the best Kirby lineup.
Oh, I always loved that screenshot.
The best.
Aside from that, Mrs. Lincoln, how was the play?
Yeah, exactly. The guy in the perfect game. I don't even know how he entered this many. I didn't even know you were allowed to enter this many. But he's got 6 lineups that are all tied with each. What the hell? He has 5 lineups all tied with each other for the win right now.
Is it the same lineup?
It's this. Oh, actually, you know what? Kirby's gonna win. Be on the best lineup. Kirby's gonna be in the winner.
God bless America.
It's the same lineup. He just entered.
That's what beat me in that whatever that was.
That's crazy.
That thing where I got second place in something when a 5-way tie for first got me by a point.
He turned a $10,000 win into 335. That's crazy. I haven't seen though that much in the 333s. Like ever, actually, especially smaller slates. Like, I hope the guy's okay. If not, do we all get to some of the money? Oh, Mookie's not in the lineup tonight, so I'm going to make some changes. I'm going to get with the lineup. Right? Yeah, I had a feeling because it's a getaway day. I didn't know which way they would go with it, and I really felt early in the day they were going to play their best, but now they're really not. Other than that, it's a pretty nice lineup. It's really basically Mookie instead of Trace Thompson instead of Mookie, but Trace is batting 8th. And it makes me kind of like, I wouldn't get off the Dodgers stack just because of this. I think they're still very viable tonight.
Okay.
But it's going to take me off of, obviously I have to get my Mookie's out. And that was my main thing is I really wanted to play Mookie and Turner in my main lineup, but because I can't, now we have to do something.
Yeah, I got to get him out too. 6-11, I got time.
Yeah. Plenty of time. Gloves. Will Smith batting 3rd. I like that.
I like the Josh Naylor among those others.
Yeah, I think I'm going to have to do some flipping around with my builds because Mookie was a big part of my Dodger stacks. So don't know that I need to be desperate for them as much as I
No.
was.
You playing Verlander?
Nope. And I'm the one who's usually the Verlander guy. You know, I'm always saying we should be playing this guy, but I didn't get there today.
You just don't think he's going to get the innings?
I just think at paying that price, like I like the other two guys better than him anyway, a little bit today, Bieber and Woodruff. And I don't feel like I need to spend 10-7. I think Bieber's upside is much bigger. It's a much bigger game for them. Even like, just why would they let Verlander go out and throw? Let's just say he threw. I mean, he can be perfect and throw 90 pitches. He can do that. But he's also got a much tougher matchup than the other guys do. But I wouldn't be surprised to see Verlander throw 90-plus pitches. I don't think it's the most likely outcome, but it's definitely on the list of possibilities. Maybe you want to get him ready, but wouldn't you want like one more start to get? Yeah, but probably around 90 is actually maybe like 88 or something is like where probably drawn somewhere a line around 90. But I'll bet you he throws like somewhere just south of it. Whereas Bieber can throw 110 if need be, or 105 anyway. And as can Woodruff. And I like their matchups better. So that is my reason.
Yeah. What's Woodruff's price? He's so cheap.
Yeah. It's too cheap.
Who's a good 3,800? Oh, you play him.
Who do you got?
I was looking for a $3,800, $3,600 outfielder. I found him. I just don't need to play. Boy, I got like a six-man Cleveland stack. I gotta do something about this.
Yeah, too many of them.
Yeah. Oh, I know what to do. How much is? Oh, perfect. Gomes is 2,900.
Yeah, Gomes is I think going to be really, really popular. But that's fine.
Who else do we like on the Cubs?
I mean, they're all cheap, so it's really just take your pick kind of a thing. Like the guys who I'm playing the most of, like I said, I like the Morel play on FanDuel at low because he won't be owned. But Reyes is the obvious one on DK. McKinstry, Gomes, Bodie, Velasquez, and
Happ.
Nothing. Happ is the one who might get lower ownership just because he actually costs something.
Right.
But I'm not even sure about that, though. I think that he will get owned a little bit. I just put him into my big lineup, actually, as a 2v2 swap with Mookie for Naylor. And, yeah, that works. I like that, actually. Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much – I'm just going to take a quick look at the Cubs. Their prices means they should be a little higher owned than they're being projected. No, they're getting the ownership. It picked up on them finally. I was like, this is right. All day I'm looking at like 8%, 7%. Now they're all like double-digit ownership, basically. Except for Morel, Rivas, Velasquez, and Hermosillo, who I'm playing all those guys in different lineups.
How much is Turner nowadays, Trey Turner?
He's cheaper than he should be. He's $5,600.
Can you run off of what's his name, Gallon?
Off Gallon. So let me just double check real quick. So from what I remember, you definitely used to be able to, but I'm not sure if you can anymore. And it's hard because it's hard to measure because people don't know a little bit.
Who's your next favorite Dodger? Who's your favorite Dodgers now?
Muncy. I'm sorry. Will Smith, Freeman, and Turner, and then Gallo because of the price, Lux and Trace. And I guess you could throw Bellinger in if you're making a full stack.
Trey's hitting first. Freeman is hitting second. Yeah. Will Smith you like at 5K. I
mean, you don't need to play the Dodgers against Gallon here. I'm just saying that there's not one stack that stands out as being like, oh, we got to pick on this guy, and that's a good spot. You know what I mean? And the ones that do are the two probably worst offenses on the slate, which are Pittsburgh and Chicago.
Right. So 4,100.
Because of all this, the ownership is going to be very spread out.
Like 4,100 outfielder. Oh, I could play him, couldn't I?
Okay, and I'm going to make my home run call for the day is going to be Matt Chapman.
Ooh.
And
how about that?
My other home run call for the day is going to be I don't know if I wanted to do the one I was going to say. I'm going to go with Josh Naylor.
Okay, I like.
Yeah. Weird one, the sneaky one, Christopher Morel. And if all the three of those guys hit home runs, I'm going to be in very good shape because they're all in a lot of my lineups together. So, all right, I might go in just a few minutes.
I'm going to go too. I may as well tell everybody. So in my big one on DraftKings, I have Yankees Cubs. That's I think.
Smaller field, don't need to worry as much about ownership.
Yep. And that'll do it. I guess I'm gonna split. So we talked about the football. Yeah, I guess we got to everything.
Yeah, weird day. Not a very fun football game to go through all kinds of things. It's pretty much. I only had like 8 players that I was willing to play, and
I only had 19 players I even projected.
It's so crazy, right?
Literally 19 I projected. I usually have some hoodoo to throw in there, like like whatever. I got nothing.
You could play if you're the one hoodoo weird one. I liked what Joanne's call was as somebody you could play at ownership. Warren, but I think you could also make an argument for like there's almost no chance he actually gets snaps, but if something happens and Nick Chubb or Kareem Hunt has to go for a minute, Felton for the
Felton. I remember him. Okay.
Minimum cost guy. Yeah, he had some huge games when these guys when Kareem Hunt was out. All right. Well, good luck, Sheets. Have a nice night. Have a good night, everybody. And I'll be in Discord if there's any questions.